Dominic Silla. Welcome to a property review from realestate.com.kh. Today we're live at Axis Residence Showroom in Phnom Penh with Mr. Anthony Ong, Director of Spring CJW Development. Thanks for having us, Anthony. It's great to be here. So we're just going to learn a little more about the Axis Residence project. So tell me a little bit about the location we're at now, Anthony.
Axis is located at the west side of the airport, which is the 6 kilometers away from the city center. We are about 5 minutes drive from the airport, so most people are familiar with the buildings beside us, like for example the North Ridge. Like I mentioned, we're 5 minutes drive from the airport, so we are also near the upcoming Orchidea Grand, the shopping center. We are located just nearby to the Lion City.
The new mall.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice one. Okay, and who is this development aimed at? What sort of buyers are you seeing interested in Axis Residence?
As with all traditional Cambodia condominium at the moment, most of them are aiming at the expatriates, the overseas investors, etc. Axis, of course, that's one of our target group, but we are also targeting more on the local. The locals, especially for those who appreciate the contemporary living lifestyle. People who appreciate contemporary living and greenery, because Singapore is very well known to be a garden city. So Axis is actually targeting more on that for people who want to live amidst greenery, landscape, etc.
Lots of sporting amenities.
That's right. Because Axis is also near to the hospitals and the best schools in Phnom Penh. So Axis also is more towards the people who are more like looking for a home rather than looking just for a place to invest. Right?
And working in the city.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, because Axis is a little bit unique, we are also located very near the traditional industrial area, which is the Vincing area. And we are also 5 minute drive, or 10 minutes, about 10 minute drive from the PESEZ, the Phnom Penh Special Economic Zone. So we are also one of a big group of people that actually wants to look at Axis to chase it. It's also those people that have factories, the industrialists, the MNCs, people who are involved in all the MNCs activities over there. Yeah.
Okay. And talk me through the main features of Axis Residence. Why should a new home buyer consider this as an investment property or a property to live?
Okay. 2 years back when we came to Phnom Penh, I think a lot of people are very familiar with what we have in Singapore. Because from the background of Axis, our designers, our consultants, the group that came up with the whole concept of Axis, we're actually all from Singapore. So to us, Singapore, this is a good, or I say the regular way that we actually design our condominiums. We couldn't find any of that in Phnom Penh. But everybody is familiar with Singapore. So we decided to bring over this concept from Singapore, truly Singapore style. That is, everything that you see in Singapore, you actually see in Axis. Right? There's the standard, when we say full condo facilities, we're talking about tennis court, we're talking about wide and big swimming pools, we're talking about gardens, we're talking about big space that you live in, we're talking about good views. So we're talking about a mid to high rise kind of condominium development, full condo facilities, we're talking about multi-purpose room, reading room, playgrounds. And when we talk about playgrounds, in Singapore, we don't just say, oh, it's a typical outdoor playground. We talk about indoor playground, outdoor playground. Then we talk about wet playground, which is when you incorporate swimming pool with the playground facilities for the kids. Okay, and there's another thing that we noticed in Phnom Penh that is acutely in shortage is actually the parking. Because as with all other developing countries and areas, there's a acute shortage problem of car parking. So what we do is we make sure that when we design this, every unit have a car park lot, such that all the unit buyers, when they buy the property of Axis, they have no worries that this place will be congested, that their cars will be parking all over the place. All this to us is the standard Singapore design criteria, which we brought into Axis. And as with all Singapore development, we try to improve. So since 2 years back when we were here, and so much of change, and we look at all the new developments that come up in Phnom Penh, and majority of them are high-rise, aiming more on city living. Whereas in Axis, we go more towards a resort living. That is, when you stay in a place, you actually enjoy the facilities. It's not just a place for you to stay or a place for you to invest and rent out. It's actually a place for you to relax when you come home from work. It's a place for you to wake up to nice greenery. It's a day for you to start your day great, because the whole atmosphere is very resort, it's very green. It's like a Eden garden kind of design when we came up with the concept of Axis.
Very nice. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the quality of the builder, the architect, finishes, things like that.
Like I mentioned, the whole design team of Axis is from Singapore. So the architects, the structural engineers, the M&E consultants, the builders, including myself, the management, etc. We are all from Singapore. So we actually brought over the whole standard of the Singapore design and the Singapore quality.
And what types of units are available at Axis Residence?
Okay, we have the 1-room unit, the 2-room unit, the 3-room unit, and as well as the penthouse. Yeah, these are the 4 types of units that's available in the Axis development. And of course, in our showroom, you can actually see the 1-room, 2-room, 3-room type, how it's laid out. And for the penthouse, we actually have the model to show you how it's going to be. Yeah.
And what sort of price ranges are we looking at?
The price we're looking at is approximately about 1,500 net, 1,500 net for almost all the units. Yeah.
Okay, and what investment potential do you see here in this project?
Okay. When we talk about investment, ultimately we are always talking about short-term investment.
Yeah, okay.
What is the difference between the short-term and long-term? Short-term investment is where you see something that is hot and you decide to go in and you say you want to buy something. The turnaround time is very fast. It means that once you go in half a year, 1 year, you have to come up and you're trying to look for a target potential of investment gain such like 30%, 50% kind of thing. Now, long-term investment, however, is something that you buy that is not as expensive as a short-term investment. But you're hoping that this place has the potential that when the city expands and it reaches this point, the gain that you get, even though the waiting time is much longer, the gain that you get could be 5-folds, 10-folds. That's long-term. Now, Axis is a very interesting project that has the benefits of both the short-term and the long-term. When you do short-term, for example, you're talking about a place that's hot. Obviously, in Phnom Penh, obviously Cambodia is hot. Everybody is coming to Cambodia and Phnom Penh is the best. So the place is hot. Whenever it starts to get hot, it'll start getting hot from the city area. So now the city area is on the price range is a little bit higher. We call it the step that you have to take. The investment value that you have to invest is a little bit more. Now, Axis is also at a place whereby, like I say, the west side of the airport, which is where the investment is slowly moving. You can actually see the investment coming this way. That's why you can see the road of Axis is better than the cities. You see planting streets by the side, you see food park by the side. You see upcoming shopping centers, like for example, you see upcoming shopping centers, for example, the best schools of Phnom Penh is already here. The best hotels of Royal Phnom Penh is already here. We're talking about a location where the city crowd or the city is expanding towards. We're talking about a place that is near traditional industrial area, the upcoming, the new special economic zone. We're talking about a place that's going to be the new center of Phnom Penh. Right? So Axis, when you talk about short-term gain, it's already there. It has the benefit of short-term gain. When you talk about long-term gain, the long-term gain is really coming towards it. So Axis is in the best position for almost all consideration when you make for any investment decision. And so we're going to make Axis the flagship of all our upcoming projects. Then when they look at Axis, we're trying to make new things happen in Axis that will earmark the rest. Meaning, for example, just recently we have just confirmed the deal of solar panel. So we're going to bring in green energy into Axis. It's going to be the first and the only condominium in Phnom Penh with green energy.
That's great.
Now, things like that, it doesn't add any cost to the buyer, but it's going to benefit the buyer. The buyers will enjoy lower utilities. The buyers will enjoy lower maintenance. And as for us developer, because we are the first developer that bring in this green energy, this is going to benefit us on the status kind of thing.
Sets a strong precedent.
That's right. And when people now look at Axis, it's a home that they have bought into. It's a place that they will want to stay into. It even has the benefit of lower maintenance costs, lower utility costs, and set them apart from the rest of the development or the rest of the market. we do not just increase the price because we're adding in new features. Actually, we add in all these new features without increasing the price. All the benefits will go to the buyers, especially those that buy early.
Very good. Anything else which makes Axis Residence stand out from the rest? I understand that some Khmer TV series have shown some interest in the showroom.
Yeah. See, they came approach us because of the showroom. We have a very nice showroom on site, on the side of Axis. They came to us and said that, hey, look, I've been searching for something like this for a very long time. To film a drama serial. May we use this? And of course, when people appreciate our design and kind of lifestyle we kind of put it, we say, yeah, sure. So we help out, we sponsor, we facilitate this learning. One thing leads to another. Words goes around, and especially when you know that Facebook and the internet is, it can go viral all the time. So when it went a little bit more viral, more and more people start to approach us. And because of all this, we know that we're on the right track. Because it appeals to a certain group of people that didn't know that such thing is actually available on the market.
And you guys are seeing quite a few buyers who are inviting their friends, like groups of families getting in together, right?
Yes. Whereas Axis target audience is the traditional investors, people can afford and everything. On that part, we try to have a financial scheme with our partnering bank, Phillip Bank, to work out something that's affordable to them, that's value for money for them, etc. And at the same time, because of all this scheme that's in place, people start to buy, and when one person buy, they get their friends to come and see what they have bought. And so one thing leads to another. They start to ask all these people to come and have a look. So while we have the investors group that's coming in, we are very happy that all the local Cambodians and upcoming Cambodian white collars people and all these people that are returning from overseas, back to Cambodia, etc. They like what they see. So all these people start to come and buy Axis and book Axis and see Axis. And that to us is very important and it's very good.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Anthony, one more question. Where do you see Axis Residence in 10 years?
Like I mentioned, in 5-10 years maybe. The boom in Phnom Penh is actually a boom of economic, that people are showing interest in one of the last few frontier economies in Southeast Asia in particular. And in 5 years' time, if all we can produce is just a place for people to stay, in 5 years' time we're just like a drop of water in the ocean. We are no different from the rest. And what we see in Phnom Penh, the potential of people, especially when 75% of 35 years old and below, they will appreciate this lifestyle. Because not everybody just wants to buy something. People want to buy a place to stay. A lot of things will change in Phnom Penh. People will have less ceremony, when they close off certain portion of the road. Instead, they will go to the mountain retreat. People get married younger. Instead of having some parties at restaurants and hotels, they will make use of their house as a housewarming at the same time. Invite people to come and see where they stay. Look at the facilities where they stay. Axis will become the flagship of hotels. And in future, when people look at Axis, it is not going to be just a condominium that was built 5 years ago. It was a condominium that set the standard and the lifestyle that what they want 5 years ago, until 5 years later or 10 years later, it is still in time, it's still updated, it is still in line, it is not outdated. And people, when they look at it, and they say that, hey, look, Axis is still very relevant. It's still something that we stay. So Axis has a value that is sustainable.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
And thank you to all our viewers. Make sure you tune in next week.